everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it'd be super neat to do a little Q&A with you guys for me to answer some of your questions. So without further ado, let's just get on into the video. So one of the first questions I received was mascara recommendations. So my one mascara I wear usually to like glam up my makeup if I'm feeling more a little frisky, or it's garbage day, by the way. Sorry for if you hear any weird noises, it's garbage day, or my brother yelling playing games. So my first mascara recommendation is the Lancome Big. I think I shared this one in my favorites video. I usually use this either by itself, or I use this Milk mascara like primer. It's white. Don't use a ton of it because it like gets all white and clumpy, so just kind of brush it lightly over it and then go in with this, and I'm telling you, you're gonna have some dramatic eyelashes. And for my more everyday look, or I'm just more natural look, I use the Maybelline Big mascara. I have used probably 5 of these in the past 5 years. Don't quote me on that, probably like 4, but you get the gist. And honestly, I keep coming back to it. It's only like $5, so it's a really good deal for like the quality you are getting. Another question I received was, what snacks do I eat throughout the day? This varies a lot. I might do like a little healthy recipe video for you guys, but usually it's popcorn, a protein bar if I'm running out of the house and I couldn't make something. Or what I've been loving right now is like rice cakes with PB2 powder, like you mix up for your peanut butter, just for like a lower calorie option, and just spread some like jam on it. And I usually have 2 of these. I already ate one because I'm hungry while filming this. So that's one of my go-to snacks. How did I find Chrissy Chella? I found Chrissy Chella off YouTube probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I instantly fell in love with her and just everything she stands for. Like 10 out of 10. If you're not following her, go follow her, go buy her book, go buy Tone and Sculpt, or buy a program, or it's not a program, Tone and Sculpt. Go download the app and get a subscription. That's it. What motivated me to start my fitness journey was definitely, I hate to say this, weight loss and trying to find acceptance and validation in other people. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought no one would want me because all I saw in the mirror was a fat pig, to be honest, and that's what I was told from certain people that will be unnamed for this video. And yeah, now it's completely different, of course, but it's really interesting to see how far I've come. And if you're interested in me doing like my fitness journey video where I sit down and tell you the nitty-gritty about all of it, comment down below and I'll film that for y'all. Where do I see myself in 3 years? Hopefully graduating college, or my last year in college. That is just one of my major goals right now. Of course, I have other goals for where I want to be in 3 years, but that one's my top of my list. If I could be sponsored by one company, what would it be and why? This is going to sound ridiculous, but any food company that wants to sponsor me, I'm totally down. Clothing companies too, that's great. But mostly a food company of sorts, like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Amazon, Prime, which is Whole Foods, a supplement company, Women's Best, Peace Science, any of those. I don't know, I just find it be interesting to work with a food brand company. And yeah, Gymshark, Buff Bunny, Lululemon, all of those would be absolutely incredible to work for as well. But I don't know. It just, why not food, you know? Get some free food. How many kids do I want? I honestly go from having or wanting to have like 3 to 4 kids to having 0. Just because I've been a nanny, I've done a lot of babysitting, and I'm worn out. And I'm not even a parent yet, but that was a lot of work. And I don't want to have kids just to merely have them. I would absolutely love them, but I want to be in a position where I can support them fully and, you know, give them the best life, if that makes sense. My proudest moment would probably be getting out of a toxic relationship with myself. You can be your most worst critic in the world and just so hateful to yourself for no reason, really, just because you don't look like somebody else or you're not acting like you should be. So probably getting out of a really toxic relationship or self-talk to myself. My favorite food drink would either be like a chocolate milkshake with homemade chocolate ice cream or any coffee. I'm always down to have coffee, even if it's 9 o'clock at night and you're chugging a cold brew, I'm always down. My ideal first date? Yeah. Honestly, dating sounds horrible. Like, not horrible, but terrifying. Like, going out with people and having to talk. And I feel like I'm a really awkward person. Even though what I do for a living, I talk to strangers all day long. It's just, for me, it's really hard to open up. And if you put that pressure, like, on me to talk and be, like, calling it a date, I feel like I'll freeze. As you could probably tell, I've never been out on a date ever. Like, I've gone out like I like to hang out with them, get to know them, and then if they want to date, like, I already have them as a friend, so I feel like that'd be easier. But okay, I'm gonna shut up on the rant part. My ideal first date would probably be just taking me out to like a random restaurant that I've never been to, just to try it with somewhat good reviews. It doesn't have to be super expensive either. It could be honestly just be like a fast food chain I've never been to. Like, just let me try food, you know? That's like, or dessert. Yeah, something like that. Like, going around and trying food, like, that is my crap. So if you're watching this, my future boyfriend or husband, hopefully husband, because I ain't interested in getting my heart broken again. Yeah, definitely like anything food, totally down. One of the questions I receive quite a lot, at least on my Instagram, is what is a calorie deficient and how do I stay in one in order to lose weight? So a calorie deficient means you are eating less calories than you are burning, or you are burning more calories than you are eating for your main goal to lose weight. So how do I stay in a calorie deficient? You can either track your macros, track your calories. If you're an intuitive eater, eat less than you are now, basically, so smaller portions. I know a lot of people can get super obsessive over numbers. I've totally been there. So I actually had to stop tracking my macros at the time because I was just overall obsessed over my calories, and I would feel guilty if I went over, and the majority of it, I had to quit it. I had to work on my relationship with food, and I actually, a few months ago, I just started tracking again because I enjoy it. But what I mean by working on my relationship with food is I lost the guilty mindset or the bad versus good foods, because in the past, whenever I ate cake, even if it did fit into my calories, I thought, oh, all my progress is gonna be lost and I'm not gonna get where I wanna be, and then it would lead to a binge because I always thought, oh, I already screwed up, which I assure you, having one cupcake and letting yourself, if you crave cupcakes 24/7, have a cupcake a day, and eventually you will not want a cupcake. You know what I mean? Because your body, I assure you, knows what it needs in order to survive, and eventually you'll get tired of a cupcake, I assure you. But sorry for the little rant. I'm just gonna keep ranting. So if none of this makes sense, I am sorry. But yes, so I would have such a guilty mindset, and then I would, totally binge out it. I would restrict myself from having those foods, which led to me binging all over again. So what I suggest for your calorie deficient is find what works for you. And what works for me personally is eating low calorie dense foods, but also having foods that satisfy my mind and physical needs, I guess. So I'm editing this right now, and I thought I should probably elaborate what low calorie dense foods are. So low calorie dense foods is basically what it sounds like. They're low calorie, but they fill you up the most. So instead of having a slice of chocolate cake that's probably around 300 to 500 calories, you have a bag of popcorn, which is 200, and you get way more volume of food, but for less calories, if that makes sense. So foods that fill me up, but also makes me feel happy mentally. So yes, I'm not going to have a Ben & Jerry's pint of ice cream. I'll have like anabolic protein ice cream. It's 80% as good as the real thing. So for me, if I can make something at least 70 to 80% as good as the real thing, it satisfies that craving for me, and it's usually less calories than the actual thing. So that honestly really helps me, and I find that I don't binge out on ice cream or cookies or cupcakes or anything like that. But also if I am at a party or whatever and I want a cupcake, I have a cupcake, because if I keep constantly telling myself I can't have something, you're just going to want it even more, and then you'll binge and then you'll restrict, and it's just not a good lifestyle motto per se. So overall, for your calorie deficient, find what works best for you in order to lose weight. So maybe instead of decreasing your calories to eat less, maybe you up your activity more and hit your calorie deficient that way. So maybe more cardio or more steps or whatever else. If that is easier for you than lowering your calories, then do that by all means. And if you're gonna start tracking your calories, don't let the numbers obsess you. If you go over one day, don't let it be, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go back on the treadmill to burn it off. Do not do that. Sometimes your body is more hungry on certain days. At least for me, my body, especially for girls on your hormones, your body's going to fluctuate. One day you might be hungrier than others, and then the other day you're not as hungry. So really get in tune with your body first and then start, I would say. Because if you go in with a restrictive mindset, you're just going to drive yourself crazy to the point where you feel like you can't lose weight, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helped you. I know it's kind of like a random tangent, but if you feel fine to track calories, go for it. And if you are not a numbers person and you feel like you can't and you'll get obsessive, honestly work with your relationship with food. I know a lot of people do not believe in the relationship with food, but you could say relationship or mindset around food, more or less. I'm sorry if this part of like the Q&A was confusing for you. Let me know if you want like a single video about calorie deficient where I go more in depth and it's not so much as a rant and I just hit points, A, B, C, D, and give you tips that way. So let me know in the comments below. Also, just another little tip real quick. So find food that actually fills you up and keeps you sated for at least 3 to 4 hours before your next meal. That has really helped me, because I remember seeing influencers eat all this different foods and I would portion it out for my body and my needs, of course, but it just didn't fill me up the same way it filled them, of course, because everybody's body is different, everybody reacts differently. So find food that actually works for you and keeps you full. This will take some playing around with your food to find like 3 basic meals that will just fill you up. You'll feel energized, you'll feel full, and help you stay in an overall calorie deficient. So I'm gonna wrap up the Q&A here. I hope you enjoyed it and I shed some light onto your questions, and I hope this maybe brought us closer in whatever way. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.